Ooh, it's the tea. It's the tea. It's piping hot.
Last days of Mercury retrograde really just trying the shit out of me. So, I got the medicine.
Oh, damn. Took me so fucking long to get everything working. My tea's not even hot anymore. Jasmine Jade. Get down in my belly. What's up, y'all? For those who don't know, my name's Liz. I don't have any college learning or even a high school diploma, but I'm here to give you all advice. My mission here is to share what I've learned through my life's experiences and hopefully maybe help some of you not get stuck in a cave of regret for decades. I want to share what I've learned from being a stubborn, hard-headed ass bitch. So maybe you don't have to learn the hard way like I did.
Take it from me, I did it. You can do it too.
That being said, I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about in my first video because there's a lot in this noggin, even if I don't have any college learning. I just couldn't decide. So I asked my tarot deck. And for any of you out there who are watching who know tarot cards, you're gonna laugh when you see what came out. Like, it was pretty obvious. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I know exactly what to talk about. Death reversed and the Tower reversed, which I'll just show right side up for those of you who are not tarot people like me. Okay, they aren't happy cards. They are not, and they both kind of represent the same thing. The Tower kind of stands for more sudden, out of the blue kind of version of the Death card, but they're both about transformation. They're about letting go. They're about endings that are probably painful, but that need to happen. People are scared of these cards, but honestly, over the last few years especially, I've really come to embrace this energy. Death is about deep transformation. And let me tell you something. I have been in a metamorphosis. A metamorphosis, like a butterfly or a moth. I'm going to talk about resisting change, resisting letting go, resisting uncomfortable emotions, resisting and like fighting against everything that's happening to you all day, every day, because I did that for a long fucking time. So I'm pretty much an expert. Taurus rising here. Stubborn. We're stubborn. That's just a fact. Okay, that's a fact. I didn't even know I was this resistant to change. I was resistant to everything. I didn't want to feel anything. I was one of those like Florida spicy white people, just living a life of crime and a life of sin.
I don't care. I feel good when I do the wrong thing.
But let's go back. First off, my childhood was fucking insane. And without the stability and without ever a sense of peace and just having a totally chaotic upbringing, I completely disconnected from myself. I disconnected from my body, my feelings, and it served me well as a child when I couldn't escape from the life that I was living. I'm glad that I was able to just dissociate on up out of there. But then as I grew into an adult, when I did get out of my living situation, I just became super comfortable and familiar with that type of lifestyle, that type of environment. Those types of relationships were what felt comfortable to me. Ironically, because they were not comfortable at all, I just perpetuated the same cycle that I was in when I was a child.
Our face on repeat, constant, y'all.
Which I know Freud said it first, but the shit is real. I continued to stay disconnected from my feelings. I descended into a world of drugs and genitals. When I got out of the house, I opened my legs to society. I just numbed myself out. You know, when the dissociating wasn't enough to keep me from feeling all the stuff that I had just stuck in me for all these years that I never processed and never healed. It just got bigger and bigger. So the drugs got heavier and heavier. I became extremely promiscuous. And that's not to say just because someone is promiscuous that like that's a problem. Like I'm sex positive. I'm like super sex positive. But for me, it was a trauma response. And I did not realize this. Okay, this was all happening completely unconsciously. I was just acting out my programming. I didn't have any self-awareness at all.
Who am I? I don't know. I guess I have a lot of things to ponder.
And it was empowering to a point, but it was just a way that I was coping with how terrible that I felt about myself and how it was hard for me to feel any joy because I had disconnected from all of my emotions for so long and I didn't know who I was. I had no real sense of self. So it gave me like fleeting moments of closeness and validation, and it also served to help me avoid feeling the real things. Did you just hear him squeak? Oh my god. He is so cute. I thought I just wanted to bust a nut. No. Turns out all the things that I was putting in my nostrils was also not just because I wanted to have a good time. Go figure. I know, it's a tale as old as time. Oh, I was empty inside. There was something missing. So I tried to fill that hole with drugs. Well, I tried to fill my holes all right. I just kept going to a darker and darker place. My life deteriorated. I was just surrounded by a lot of people who were like vampires. I was just letting people take advantage of me. I was also so fucked up and so in my addiction that I inflicted suffering on others. And yet still, I didn't address any of that underlying stuff. My instinct was, oh, feel something uncomfortable coming up. Don't, just fight it, like. So as you can imagine, that didn't go well. And I became so tense, so depressed, and full of anxiety. You can't put Percocet on all your problems. My life just devolved completely the more that I resisted. And my life, as it fell apart, I just felt like a helpless victim. If it wasn't for having Tristan to think about, I don't think I would have had the strength to get clean. But I did. I just like bit a stick and just fucking did it. And it was hard. It was really hard, but I knew I couldn't keep going like I was going or I would die. So that did give me motivation to like push through some discomfort to make positive change. But I still didn't understand that there were much deeper, larger issues even that needed to be addressed that led me to become an addict in the first place. I got clean and I moved out of Florida. So that was an improvement. I feel like just getting out of Florida is usually a good idea.
Spring break. Spring break forever.
And so moving up north was good, but it didn't fix anything. I mean, what's the saying? Wherever you go, there you are. I continued to end up in relationships that were a mess.
And bring your brooms because it's a mess.
Narcissistic, toxic, roller coaster rides. I continued to have bouts with opiates. That was the one that really kept coming back to haunt me. It was something that would always pull on me because I had so much pain. I didn't know what the fuck to do with that. And I was terrified to open the floodgates. I literally went for years without even crying because I was so scared that if I started, like, I would never stop. So I just kept doing my thing, you know, just being crazy Liz. Less crazy Liz, to be fair. Crazy Liz Maryland edition. Then when I moved to DC, my life continued to improve. I found myself in a place that I actually enjoyed, that I actually felt at home, that I wanted to be. Life was really looking good, but I still hadn't addressed the underlying stuff. Oh, brother Keith! Oh my gosh. You did so good. What are you... My health deteriorated. It was like my body was trying to get my attention and the universe was trying to get my attention. So things got more and more and more and more and more and more and more uncomfortable. There's a saying, I can't remember who the quote is attributed to, but it's basically like change happens when the discomfort of staying the same outweighs the discomfort of change. And for me, it took a whole hell of a lot of discomfort to push me to change. And I'm not going to go into all the details today. I might do a story time about my spiritual awakening and how that came about, but essentially I'll just say I dealt with chronic health issues that built up and got worse and worse over probably 10 years. And then I had some crazy out of the blue thing happen where I ended up in a wheelchair for almost a year. And I didn't know if I was gonna walk again. And that turned out to be the thing that finally pushed me out of my uncomfortable comfort zone. I ended up really finding empowerment inside myself and realized that I had innate value and that I did have control, maybe not over what was going on around me, but how I was responding to it and what was going on inside of me. And this was like a new concept. When I stopped resisting, I realized I was like a magical witch. I was suddenly able to like change my life, change my behavior. I finally didn't want to do drugs anymore. And to be clear, when I say drugs, I'm not including weed. Because weed is not a drug. Okay, weed is a plant. I got a taste of what it was like to actually feel the depth of my emotions, and I started to feel joy. Spoiler alert, I actually felt happiness. Now, that was short-lived because I still hadn't really dove in and done the shadow work, really being like, okay, but why? Okay, but why I do this, but why I do that, but why? I didn't do that yet. I feel like the universe woke me up, gave me a little taste of my power, and it opened me up to the possibility that I could be something different, that I could fulfill my potential that I felt that I had inside of me. And that motivated me to do the shadow work, to look at all of the things that I was trying to avoid dealing with, all those years. And I got a therapist to help me through. After a rough time of like separating from my husband at the time and having friendships fall away and even having to go no contact with my family, that was like major like tower and like death.
You'd like to see the maggots eat my face.
And it was scary. I did it. I did the work. And I'm still doing the work. It's an ongoing process. I feel like for the first time at the age of 36 that I know who I am. Not in relation to another person, not in the sense of how I look, like who I am, what drives me, why I am the way I am, and that I can change. That I didn't have to be one of those people that was like, yeah, I'm like hard-headed and like, yeah, I'm like crazy, you know, but that's just the way I am. It is so much easier to go through life this way. Not resisting, just allowing things to be what they are, allowing people to be who they are, not trying to force things to be that are not. You are not a fucking salmon. Stop trying to swim upstream all the time. It is not going to work. You will just exhaust yourself and you will eventually drown. It's taken work for me to get to this place, but I am a transformed human. Ask anyone who's known me 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. I am a different person. It's like I've stripped down so much of the trauma, the unconscious programming that I was just on automatic pilot. You know, letting fear get in the driver's seat, letting rage get in the driver's seat. Now I don't try to push them away because they have their place. They have their use. They're like an old friend. But I sure as fuck don't let them get in the driver's seat anymore. I let them flow through me. I'm able to take the wisdom away from these experiences, whereas before I couldn't get the full lesson because I just didn't want to look at it. I was like, la 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 la. No. I couldn't see all of the beauty that it was trying to give to me, all of these painful experiences. So now I embrace the discomfort because I know every time I come out the other side that I'm going to be a better version of myself. That more and more of the things that are weighting me down and that have been stuck in my body will fall away, and I will be lighter, and I will be able to feel joy more deeply. It's so good. I wish that everyone could experience the spectrum of emotions so that they could feel this utter joy. If you'd be interested in a video where I give practical tips on allowing your emotions to flow through you and letting go, because they can be kind of vague concepts, especially if you've never done them. You know, like, oh, love yourself. If I know how to do that, we would be having this conversation. I've really worked up a real impressive mental health toolbox, and none of the things in the toolbox are white powdery substances. So, go me. Cause I don't got time. I don't have time. Baby, are you coming for the ride? I just wanna stay for the night. Blow, 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 blow. This brain go cup out. Put you to sleep like a baby. Yeah. Yeah. I could tell it was gonna be good because I heard you singing.
I love you.
I'm all ready for bed. Gotta talk kind of quiet because Tristan's already sleeping. I'm all cozy. Got my favorite pillow. I just want to drive home the point that it is really hard sometimes to let go. It hurts. It hurts to let go of habits. It hurts to let go of comfort zones. It hurts to let go of people. But you are making space in your life for true joy, for people that fulfill you and don't deplete you, for feeling like every moment is infused with magic instead of feeling like nothing matters. I feel like a miracle now instead of a mistake. And that's all because I just let go. If any of this resonated with you, please go ahead and push the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, just smash all the buttons. I'm trying to get this algorithm to be my bitch. Good night, y'all.